The question of whether the world will come to an end has been a topic of both scientific and religious concern. The scientific world hold the notion that the Earth will eventually experience cosmic catastrophes. These include asteroid impacts, supernova explosions, and gamma-ray bursts. An asteroid impact similar to the one that caused the extinction of the dinosaurs could have devastating effects on life on Earth. Supernova or gamma-ray bursts, though less likely, could potentially strip away the Earth's atmosphere or cause severe radiation damage. Science also postulates climate change and environmental degradation. They believe that the continued emission of greenhouse gases could lead to catastrophic climate changes, including rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and widespread habitat loss. Environmental degradation, such as deforestation and loss of biodiversity, could also contribute to a decline in the quality of life and even lead to societal collapse, and so on. While some religious sects also believe that the world will eventually end as God will destroy the earth and make it empty, thereby rebuilding in entirely new physical structures where the righteous people will live forever. These human speculations are valid to an extent, as the Bible also reveals that there will be certain occurrences, including famine, that will indicate the end times. The lack of food and death may be as a result of flood that destroys the crops that produces food for humans and animals. But is that God's real plan? Absolutely not. Wait a minute. I'll explain with several biblical references. The real purpose of the return of Jesus is to finally destroy the earthly and imperfect rulership structure of man and establish his perfect will on earth, as stated in Revelation 11 verse 18. 2 Peter 3 verse 7 also states that God will bring an end to ungodly people and not the earth itself. The Bible reveals in various passages and prophecies that address the concept of the end of the world, which we will bring to your knowledge in this video. These scriptures will offer insights into the nature, purpose, and implications of the world's eventual conclusion. This video basically explains how the world will eventually come to an end, grounding the discussion in scriptural references from the Old, New Testament, and theological interpretations. Before we fully delve into this topic, kindly like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to get notified as we publish our subsequent videos. Now, let's begin with the biblical prophecies of the end times. The Bible records numerous prophecies concerning the end times, often referred to as eschatology. One of the most detailed accounts is found in the book of Revelation, which describes a series of apocalyptic events leading to the final judgment and the establishment of a new heaven and a new earth. According to the biblical prophecies, these events must occur before the second coming of Jesus down to earth. The book of Revelation, written by Apostle John, is a primary source of Christian eschatological thought. It presents a vivid and symbolic narrative of the end times. Revelation 21 verse 1 states, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea." This passage suggests a transformation rather than a complete annihilation of the world. The current world will pass away, making way for a renewed creation. It also speaks of the final judgment, where all humanity will be judged by God. Revelation 20 verse 11 to 12 describes, "Then I saw a great white throne, and him who was seated on it. The earth and the heavens fled from his presence, and there was no place for them. And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne, and books were opened. This judgment leads to the ultimate separation of the righteous and the wicked, emphasizing the moral and spiritual culmination of history." Jesus Christ also spoke about the end times in the Gospels. In Matthew 24, known as the Olivet Discourse, Jesus outlines various signs and events that will precede the end of the world. Matthew 24 verse 3 records the disciples asking Jesus, "Tell us, when will this happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?" Jesus pointed out wars, famines, earthquakes, and persecution as initial signs, Matthew 24 verse 6 to 8. He also speaks of the abomination of desolation in a period of great tribulation, Matthew 24 verse 15 to 21. However, the exact timing of these events is unknown, as Jesus states in Matthew 24 verse 36, "But about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father." Undoubtedly, these events are already taking place as different parts of the world have experienced wars, lack of food resulting to hunger and death, earthquakes, floods, and persecutions of Christians. These are clear indications that his return is closer than we think, and believers are urged to live right as no one know the day of his return. Nevertheless, the end of the world is not seen as a random or meaningless event, but as the fulfillment of God's divine plan. It signifies the culmination of history and the restoration of God's perfect order. The end times are often viewed as a period of restoration and renewal. The concept of a new heaven and a new earth suggests that God's creation will be restored to its intended glory, free from sin, suffering, and death. This is echoed in Isaiah 65 verse 17. "See, I will create new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind." This indicates that the former suffering, pain, and death will be a thing of the past and won't be remembered. This renewal is also associated with the final defeat of evil. Revelation 21 verse 4 promises, "He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things have passed away." This verse provides hope and assurance that the end times will lead to a perfect and eternal existence with God. The end of the world also represents the execution of divine justice. Throughout the Bible, there is a consistent theme of judgment where God will hold all people accountable for their actions. This is particularly emphasized in the book of Daniel and the Gospels. Daniel 12 verse 2 states, "Multitudes who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake, some to everlasting life, others to shame and everlasting contempt." Jesus reinforces this in Matthew 25 verse 31 to 46, where he describes the final judgment as a separation of the sheep, the righteous from the goats, the wicked. This judgment is based on one's deeds and treatment of others, underscoring the moral imperatives of love and compassion. The prophetic and apocalyptic literature of the Bible has led to various interpretations and theological debates. Some Christians interpret these texts literally, expecting a series of specific events that will culminate in the end of the world. Others adopt a more symbolic or allegorical approach, viewing the descriptions as metaphors for spiritual truths and the ongoing struggle between good and evil. Amazingly, the world will experience Jesus Christ on earth again, where he will reign for 1,000 years, also known as the Millennial Kingdom, as recorded in Revelation 20 verse 1 to 6. During this period, Christ will rule with his saints, and there will be peace and righteousness. At the end of this millennium, Satan will be released for a final rebellion, which he will be swiftly defeated. Following the final judgment, God will create a new heaven and a new earth. Revelation 21 verse 1. This new creation will be free from sin, suffering, and death. God will dwell with his people, and there will be no more pain or sorrow. This vision of the new creation represents the ultimate fulfillment of God's redemptive plan and the eternal state of blessedness for believers. In conclusion, the Bible affirms that the world will indeed come to an end, but this end is not one of total destruction, but of transformation and fulfillment. The end times, as described in the Scriptures, involve the judgment of humanity, the defeat of evil, and the establishment of a new heaven and a new earth. This eschatological vision offers both a warning and a promise, a warning of the consequences of sin and a promise of eternal life and restoration for those who believe and follow Christ. The end of the world, from a biblical perspective, is ultimately about the realization of God's divine plan and the restoration of His creation. It urges believers to live in readiness and faithfulness, trusting in the hope of eternal life through Jesus Christ. This biblical truth continues to give inspiration and guidance to the Christian faithfuls all over the world in their spiritual journey, providing a framework for understanding the ultimate destiny of humanity and the world. I hope this video has been a source of divine inspiration and revelation to you as a journey with Christ by faith. Please do well to like, subscribe, and leave your comment with us. We'll like to hear from you. Thank you for watching and stay blessed.